The demonstrators are temporary workers employed by contractors and Eskom Rotek Industries. Workers have downed tools demanding an end to labour brokers. We're now joined via Zoom by Eskom spokesperson Sikonathi Mantshantsha to discuss some of the issues raised by the protesters. A very good morning to you, Sikonathi. How is this protest going to impact power generation?
Morning, Desiree. Eskom has taken measures to protect the production of electricity to minimize any impediments arising from this protest action, and indeed to protect the people protesting themselves and the assets. So there should be minimal disruption to electricity production as a result of the action today.
So what is Eskom? What is Eskom planning to? How is Eskom planning to tackle the labour broker issues?
Desiree, the matters have since at least February been dealt with by Eskom in terms of offers that have changed some of the conditions, and the matter right now is at the CCMA. The very matters that the workers are complaining about. And Eskom is actively taking steps to make sure that all labour brokers comply with the relevant employment legislation in South Africa. And as I said again, the matters are being attended to by Eskom in a court in the CCMA process. And we are doing everything to ensure that all the labour brokers comply with the law.
Just in the case of Eskom trying to restructure the operations and save costs, as we know that is one of the big problems, the financial burdens of Eskom. How are you approaching labour issues in terms of staff that belong to Eskom, maybe a clarification of what the Eskom Rotek Industries is in relation to the overall structure of Eskom?
Eskom Rotek Industry is the contractor within Eskom that actually goes and does the maintenance of power stations, the maintenance shutdowns, and all other project work required on the ground at the power stations. So it mostly the ARI itself, as we call it inside Eskom, employs about 3,000 people who are permanent staff members. But a lot of the work that needs to be done at the power stations is really project work that has start and end dates, and therefore cannot have full-time employees. In that respect, we go from time to time to temporary employment service providers who bring in people to Eskom. And we advertised as Eskom for this in February 2020, and 25 contracts were awarded. That is now where the workers are complaining about, some of them, because some changes in their employment conditions have changed and had the effect of reducing their benefits. That is the demand that they have sent to Eskom. They are coming to Eskom at a point when there already is a parallel process at the CCMA in which we are involved with the National Union of Mine Workers to resolve the issues and make sure that all service providers to Eskom comply with the law and treat the workers in a humane way, and ensure the dignity of the people working there, as well as all the relevant legislation is being taken care of.
Just aside from the labour issues, Sikonathi, would it be correct to assume then that Eskom Rotek Industries is not efficient? You say they employ 3,000 people on a full-time basis and bring in people as required on projects. But almost a good chunk of the time when Eskom reports that there are power outages, it's usually because of maintenance. Are they not doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Desiree, it's now been plain for at least the past 10 years to everyone in South Africa that various units inside Eskom are not doing as well as they should. And that is the task that the management has given itself, to make sure that the organization is aligned and is able to meet its mandate to the people of South Africa. Hence, these interventions, one, to make sure that this matter of temporary employees is properly handled. There have indeed been mistakes in the past where Eskom itself has not always handled itself in the best way possible. And these are the matters that today, as I have just said to you, are before the CCMA with regards to temporary employees. And you are aware of the other major issues, particularly the maintenance of power stations, which has at times been neglected. We have promised to the people of South Africa that you are catching up with the maintenance backlog in order to reduce significantly the occurrence of load shedding.
Are you able to tell us how far the CCMA process is?
The CCMA process was first negotiated, or it was first argued on the 21st of September, and there are still other hearings going forward. So it's not yet over, but soon the matters will be resolved at the CCMA, and indeed we will be able to go back to our colleagues and give them satisfactory packages.
But what is, I think you just responded to my answer there when you talk about packages, because I wanted to ask you, notwithstanding all these processes, what is the position of Eskom? Are you wanting to save these jobs? So are you saying you're offering them packages and you're wanting to say goodbye to them?
Desiree, no one is being removed from Eskom. Nobody is being fired. What I am saying is that Eskom is in that process to make sure that each and every temporary employment service provider, or labor broker as you call it, complies absolutely with the law and pays people on time, and we get to renegotiate because some of the complaints by the workers are that their wages have now dropped with the new labor brokers. We are in a process to ensure that each and every one of them complies with the law and with the minimum bargaining rates that are offered. Some did fall below that, and that is the process that management is working with the recognized trade unions.
So what kind of engagement have you had with Labour? Because it's interesting that they would proceed with the protest action in spite of the CCMA process being underway.
Desiree, the one thing to notice here, not all of these workers are affiliated to the trade unions that we are talking to. In this instance, you have people that have organized themselves outside of the recognized trade unions. They have even engaged some political parties and marched to Eskom as individuals and handed over a memorandum of demands, which Eskom has responded to and said, this matter that you are now raising is being handled at the appropriate forum, which is the CCMA, and you will get an outcome from that. But of course, the people have not waited for the leadership of the unions or of the organization. There seem to be divisions in the sense that people can choose who to go with. In this instance, they have even picked up a political party that is not a representative of workers, and that is, those are the people that are today marching. No recognized trade union is part of the action today because they are part of the formal structures at the CCMA where the same matters are being resolved. So you have a duplication of efforts from workers who, for whatever reason, are not following the lead of recognized trade unions.
So does that essentially mean you don't recognize the process that's currently underway, the protest?
These are workers that are engaging Eskom, and we have engaged them definitely. The matter of recognition does not even begin to arise here. They handed Eskom a letter of demands, and we responded to that. But to enforce their action, they have taken on this protest action that they are now doing, which I repeat again, only duplicates what is currently happening and what Eskom is currently addressing. They are legitimate demands indeed. We recognize that. but there is already a process underway, and the outcome will come out of that CCMA process and with the leadership of their trade unions.
Which power stations are affected, and are you concerned about security?
There will always be security concerns on issues whenever there is a protest action. We have indeed taken measures to protect people at power stations and outside the power stations. Mostly Kendal power station is the one that has been affected. Yes, production is still going ahead. There are about 6 other power stations in Mpumalanga where people have blockaded roads and are trying to make it difficult for those who want to continue working. But with the assistance of the South African police, the matters are currently under control.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
You're welcome.
Sikonathi Mantshantsha is the spokesperson for Eskom.